entertaining watching people as they walk by my banner or my books. And
Mhm.
as soon as they hit the word sex, they're either pushing the person in front of them, like starting, you know, a mad rush towards the door, or
Uh,
they're cracking up once they get to the second part of the title. Because the first one, they're just confused.
mhm.
But as soon as they hit and other practical financial tips, there are some people who just get it immediately.
Yeah.
Those people usually have their birthday at Christmas.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Art of a Meaningful Life podcast. And as always, I'm excited to be here. And because I think we're all yearning to have more meaning in our lives. And what I love to do is to chat with people who have found what I think are really interesting ways of finding that meaning. And my guest today is RoseMarie Keogh Smyth. And welcome, RoseMarie.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so to be real, RoseMarie and I have never met in person, not yet anyway. No, but we've spoken on some summits with the 262 movement and actually have it's a women's summit coming up and it's women to watch. That's us, RoseMarie.
Absolutely.
Yes, that's coming up March 2nd and 3rd. 2nd and 3rd, yes.
7th and 8th.
7th and 8th. And
It's wild.
so I'm going to keep it real. Sometimes when I go to say a date, I get it mixed up. So we've got it 7th and 8th, and it will definitely be in the description. So, RoseMarie, okay, I know you're going to talk about money, and money is like the furthest thing for me when I think about meaning. And, but I know you've got some wonderful insight for us. So, so tell us about that.
Most people think money, you can't be dealing if you're dealing with a meaningful life, you have to be spending all of your money. You can't be saving and investing. It can't even be in when you're talking about the joy and the fun and the escapism that you may be experiencing in life. The way that I see it is money is a tool. It's not about a spreadsheet. It's not about a shame. It's not about what came before. It's simply let's stop keeping up with the Joneses. Let's decide on what it is that we want in this amazing life that we have, and let's go get it. I don't want to be 100 and scrimping and saving. I also don't want to only concentrate on paying off my mortgage or paying bills when I'm on this gorgeous planet with a 14-year-old son and things to do. So I design my life in a way that I vote with my dollars. So if there's something that I want for my family, then I use my resources to get there. I don't let it slip and slide on the convenience that's not really going to light me up. So I make choices based on we want to go and spend our summers chasing a chance at the BMX worlds. Therefore, we're not going to go to McDonald's every week. We're going to put the money into a gas tank and we're going to drive off to Quebec and we're going to camp and then we're going to race all weekend long. And
Mm,
we'll bring barbecue with us instead of eating it. So the choices are being made based on the life that we're designing.
uh-huh. So the first step sounds like then being really aware of what really matters to you.
Yeah.
And
What
that's
is
what you
that
mean by
meaningful life you want to
voting.
achieve?
Yeah, what is that? So how did you come to that? I mean, I think so many times we get in this rat race, right? We're busy doing, and kind of lose track of the big focus of the big goals of what we really want. And I know I'm not the first person who's ever worked really hard to go, wait a second, I don't even think I want this. This isn't even what I want.
What's
Yeah.
the ladder you were climbing up against the right wall?
Yes. So how did you personally come to that?
It might have been Psych 101. We're not entirely sure. When I graduated from university, I was handed a wicked bill that was now due because I'd been living on student loans for the 4.5 years that I was in school. And I had never seen that amount of money on a piece of paper before, and it wasn't what I was receiving, it was what I had to give back. So
Yeah,
I
that
kind
doesn't
of
work,
freaked
does
out a
it?
little bit. Yeah, it would have been so much cooler the other way. I wasn't even making that. I didn't have a single job. I had 6 or 7 jobs. And I don't think I was making as much as they wanted back.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, forgetting that I had just enjoyed the services of their funds for the last 4.5 years.
Yeah.
But now I have to give it back. Um, I freaked out a little bit and then decided that it took me 4.5 years to get into that mess. So it was going to take me 4.5 years to get out. But I wasn't just going to be paying bills. I
Mm-hmm.
had dreams. I had things that I needed to do. The first big dream was my Harley. So I had always wanted to have a Harley by the 100-year anniversary. And so that was 2003.
Mm.
I graduated, wrote my final exam December 2000, and I had nothing saved.
Nothing saved. Is that
So
what you said?
I
Nothing
had
saved?
to, nothing saved, not a penny. And it wasn't even about I needed my dream Harley. I needed, the $20,000 Harley. I wanted a Harley by the 100-year anniversary. So what I would do is instead of emotional spending, when I'd get annoyed, when I would, normally be like, "Rah, I'm going shopping," I would go to the bank
Mm-hmm.
and I would drop some dollars into my Harley fund.
Mm-hmm.
One day came along when, so I was working 7 jobs. I was just piecing them in together where I used to go to school. Now I was working, you're 20, you don't need sleep, right? So life was very full. I was still having a lot of fun though. I was still going out with my friends. I was dating the man who's now my husband. Um, he's also a workaholic. What uh, what I did one day, I turned down a government contract. So I was working from 3 to 11 o'clock at night. I started work at about 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. I worked till 11 o'clock at night. And I was done with that. I needed to have some time to myself and some time to actually look for a better job. So I turned the contract down. I showed up at the bank with a full 2 weeks of government pay. My advisor at the time looked at me and said, "Oh my God, what did Todd do? Do you need an alibi?" Because I only came in when I was pissed off. So, so I said, no, I turned down the contract. If I'm able to turn down the contract, I guess I don't need this money because it's not going to be there in 2 weeks.
Mm.
So I took the entire paycheck and I put it into the Harley. Now, I think the entire paycheck was maybe $800. At the time, it
All
was huge.
relative. Yeah,
It
it's
was,
huge.
yeah, it was,
Uh-huh.
massive. This was an
Right.
entire 2 weeks of work, right?
Mm.
40 hours a week. So I kind of built that account. My then boyfriend was trying to get me interested in the house fund. I'm like, nope. So I just focused on the Harley fund and I focused on paying off my student loans.
Hmm.
Once I purchased my Harley, and I did get it by November 2002, then I started looking at, okay, now I can put a little bit towards the house. I had an opportunity to start putting some money down on a piece of waterfront property with my uncle. So I would do a little bit to feed the dreams as well as pay down the debt.
Hmm.
So I learned that you don't have to stop living
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
pay down your debt. You just have to be conscious of what you're spending your money on.
Hmm. So some of those immediate gratification things you were thinking at the time, like, wait a
Yeah,
second, that's not the best thing for me right now. And then you went and put it
yeah.
in your Harley fund, which is not immediate. Maybe the feeling when you put it in the fund, I don't know if that gave
Oh,
you great joy, right? Yeah. So that was
I
yeah, that was the gratification,
was
but
already riding that Harley long before I owned it.
right? Right? Because the thing about it, the immediate gratification is that it's immediate and then it's gone. And
Yeah,
it's kind of like, hey, that's no fun anymore. And but when you're
yeah.
saving towards something,
And that Harley was at my wedding in the photos.
oh, it was.
It's been upgraded since.
Yeah.
Yeah, I now have the Harley. It's gorgeous.
Well, it means a lot to
But
you.
it does. It does. I grew up on the stories of motorcycles. To own a motorcycle before you owned your home. So my very first motorcycle wasn't a Harley. My father said, "I always knew you'd have a bike before a house."
You had a roof over your head. It's just the not,
Yeah, it was
yeah,
just the priorities.
right.
My priorities were more, I can rent, I want my bike.
Hmm.
Right? To me, that was the freedom to be able to take off.
Right. I
Yeah.
kind of remember similar when I graduated and I was starting to earn some, and I didn't have several jobs then. I had like one and maybe a little part-time here or there. but my very first full check, I started taking a little bit out so I could buy a guitar because I wanted a
Nice.
guitar. I had a cracked tooth that was broken way up tall, and I wanted to get my tooth fixed, and I did that. Anyway, I had these goals, like two big goals, guitar, oh, three, camera, I had to have a camera,
Yep.
a good camera, and getting my tooth fixed. And those
Excellent.
were like those same thing. It's like, oh, if I spent money on this or that, so I would pass up clothes and go right to save. And they
Yeah.
aren't as big as a Harley, but in my mind, it just meant the world to me to have those things.
I bought my first guitar on layaway, which I don't think people do anymore. But
It
yeah, it
was
was, you had 20 bucks and you walked in and you handed it over for you, and the guitar sat there behind the counter and waited for me. It's right behind me.
fancy. Yeah.
Same guitar.
Yeah. I mean, they mean so much.
It's an investment that lasts forever.
So starting thinking about money and our relationship to money to
It's
get
simply a
to,
tool. It's not status. It's not, it's a tool. So it is there to achieve the things that you want to achieve. It's not there to achieve what your neighbor has achieved.
hmm
It's there for you. It's there for you to really enhance your life.
hmm
So mortgage freedom was a huge goal of mine. I achieved that in 2019.
Wow.
Sure, it could have come, thank you. That was my biggest like financial
Yeah.
milestone, that nobody can take my house.
Uh-huh.
I will always have my house. Like it was a security piece for me.
Mm.
We didn't own when we were growing up. We rented. My mom finally bought a house in my teenage years. She was so proud.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but we rented.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the thought of actually being in the same house, I've been here for 17 years. This is my second house, but
Mm.
17 years in one house, unheard of,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
right?
So the stability. So it helped
The
give you
stability,
stability
the
and safety.
security,
Yeah.
my nest, my child came home to this house.
Mhm.
We are here. He will come home to this house once he moves out. He says he's never moving out, but we'll see. Um, but before, I could have been mortgage free faster, but I went to Ireland for a month on my own.
Ah.
And I went to England a couple of times to see my grandmother. Um, I went with my family to Disney. There were things that we did before the house was paid off,
Mm-hmm.
that these were things we wanted to do. Sure, I could have just paid off my mortgage.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And granted, when I was paying off my mortgage, I was giggling. My husband would look at me and go, "Are you paying the mortgage again, honey?" Yeah. It's dopamine hits for me, right? I
Right.
made it again, but I needed a life.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a child who was being raised who couldn't just be, oh, well, we paid the mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
We needed to do fun things.
Yeah.
So it's that balance between, I have the goal and I really want to achieve it and it's going to cost me money, but I have a life to live that is beautiful and amazing, and I have a family that I need to go and play with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I have personal things like that trip to Ireland I recommend to all the ladies.
Yeah, so it's getting really clear on your values. That's what helps you decide what's a yes and what's a no, how much you value,
Yes.
right? So we valued our guitars and purchasing our guitars. Yeah, and a Harley for you. Yeah, for me it was a house pretty early on. Not necessarily mortgage free. That thought never even the thought of that as a possibility didn't really cross my mind. I think because I was a mom pretty early on,
Yeah.
buying a house, being a mom. And so where my attention and most of my money went then was toward
Children.
my time. Yeah, having time and yeah, and kids. And so such a personal decision, but it's so important to really be clear on that because otherwise we are just spinning in a direction that may not be our direction to go.
I wish I had thought of things like staying home with my son. I
Mm,
wish that had have entered my head a lot earlier than now. And I came to that game late in life. I was 35 when my son was born.
mm,
It didn't occur to me that you want to put some money aside because you're probably not going to go back to work, because it didn't occur to me that I wouldn't want to go back to work.
uh-huh.
I did not want to go back to work.
Right. Isn't that the case?
I had so much fun with that. I took 13 months and I loved it. And
Mm,
I just wanted it to last forever. But I hadn't set up for that.
right.
So it's really hard to carve it back. Whereas if you think of it ahead of time and you're like, okay, well, to me, these are the important things,
Hmm.
then you can plan for that.
Right.
You can make decisions in advance that will land you to the point where you're like, hey, man, I got exactly what I wanted.
Right.
Right?
And that's subject to change as we grow
It
older and
is.
life changes, right? Our circumstances change. And so revisiting. All still based on the
Likely.
values, though,
Yeah. Now,
family.
money in the bank can change its goal,
Hmm.
right? I was speaking to one woman at a show where she was saying that she was worried her finances were, so her dream was to have a baby, and they were trying to have a baby. And she figured that she might need to go to in vitro and a lot of other solutions that could
Hmm.
cost a lot of money. So she was saving all of her money there. And she said, well, I'm afraid that I'm focusing there and letting every other dream go to the wayside. I said, well, the nice thing about that is if you sweep all of your money towards this account and if you need it, you've got it. But
Hmm.
if you don't, the money can change its mind. The money can now go to some other dream that you have once you have your baby in your arms. If you didn't need to go
Yeah.
to a different country for in vitro,
Right.
right? So
Right.
now you can use that money for the next step, the education fund, the traveling to introduce your baby to the entire family, that whatever that is for you,
Uh-huh.
the money now changes focus because it's there.
Wow.
It's not scrambling for it anymore.
So tell us what you're doing now then.
Oh my.
Yeah, I mean, around thinking about money as a tool and our life goals and things, or it's got to be a part of it.
The, I'm going to be introducing more publicly a concept called nothing's off the table. So where we're talking about all of the things that um, we shut down. We
Mm,
don't talk about that. That's none of your business.
uh-huh.
That are blocking the growth
Hmm.
of the next generations that blocked our growth.
Hmm. Yeah.
So even with like the title of my book, I'm not shy about talking about things that most people don't want to talk about.
Hmm. The title of your
So
book
break
is?
the taboos. And the title of my book is Don't Have Sex 9 Months Before Christmas and Other Practical Financial Tips.
Well, who could resist not picking that up? I mean, Rosemary.
Not your normal finance book, gots to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
So it's entertaining watching people as they walk by my banner or my books, and
Hmm.
as soon as they hit the word sex, they're either pushing the person in front of them, like starting, you know, a mad rush towards the door, or
Uh,
they're cracking up once they get to the second part of the title. Because the first one, they're just confused.
hmm.
But as soon as they hit and other practical financial tips, there are some people who just get it immediately.
Yeah.
Those people usually have their birthday at Christmas.
Right? Yes.
Like,
Firsthand
yeah,
experience.
don't do
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
Exactly.
Right? Oh my
So,
gosh.
so to have just a title like that, which marketers tell me it's a marketer's dream.
Uh-huh.
To have a title like that, I'm not afraid to talk to you about anything that you're going through. I'm not going to judge you on a damn thing, right?
Hmm.
Because it's just, this is my situation. This is where I want to go. Okay,
Yeah.
let's figure
Yeah.
that out,
It's like neutral.
right?
It's like you so long as you
It's
have
completely,
clarity, the rest of yeah is like judgment free because that's your dream. As individual as
because
each
that's
of
your
us
dream.
are, right? It's your dream. Hmm. You get to
Yes.
do
And
what you
there's nobody else who can tell you what you need to be doing. And this is what just simply annoys me about the whole keeping up with the Joneses concept, where
hmm.
I I love my neighbor, I don't want to be him.
Hmm.
I love my sister, I don't want to be her.
Right.
Very different ideas on what happiness is. And chances are, if I lived in your life, I wouldn't be happy.
Yeah.
Not because you don't have an amazing life, but
Right.
because it's not mine.
That is such an aha moment, Rosemary, because just the thought of thinking how often we are comparing, which is just setting yourself up for crash by comparing instead of like who am I and what do I want and just relishing in that is we lose track of that when we're busy comparing And so much of
Yeah.
life is comparing. I mean,
Spend any time on social media.
yeah,
You're getting somebody's highlight reel,
right, exactly.
right?
You're getting what they and then it's our interpretation and yeah, it's just everywhere. So to stand strong in being it sounds like you were kind of early on, you were sure this is where I'm at, this is who I am, and this is what I want, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't that way at all. I'm kind of a late bloomer, I think, probably,
I
like
didn't have a child
50s,
young though. I
60s.
didn't have to worry about somebody else's feelings and thoughts and growth. And I mean, now I look at my son, I'm like, oh wow, it's up to me,
Yeah,
right? I've got to show him the things and help him open the doors. And whereas it was all about me before, I didn't have to worry
yeah,
about it,
yeah. Well,
right? So
yeah.
again, it's where were you in life?
Mhm.
Now I don't have as much energy as when my sister had her children because I was cool Auntie Roo back then. With him, I don't have the energy that I used to have,
Mhm, mhm.
but
Yeah.
I'm providing this incredible, I think, life
Mhm.
for him to pick and choose from.
And such wisdom. I mean, that's just a wonderful gift. And I look at that now with my grandkids and like, you guys are going to get some of the wisdom that I learned when I was raising your dad. I wasn't that young. I was 28, but career-wise and things. And I just did not have the wherewithal to even ask myself, what do I really want? I am kind of at that of the generation, you can be a wife, you can be a secretary or a nurse or a teacher. And some people really got risky and went out on the limb and became accountants. I wanted to be a
The choices were
musician.
rather limited for the
Oh yeah,
ladies.
very limited about what women could feasibly. I think I was like in my 50s before I really saw. I'm like, what do you really want? And it was a pivotal moment for me, and it was really moving. And I had a friend who was a coach, and she goes, stare in the mirror and ask yourself, what do you really want? And then ask yourself why, and don't stop. Keep going. And it just left me in a puddle of tears because I flat out, I'm
Oh,
like, I, I, I'm an artist. I want to create art. I want to, I, I'm scared to death of speaking, but I want to speak. I want to share what I know. And I would have never come to that had I not taken the time to think about it deep.
yeah. And thank goodness someone pushed you to it. Give you a little
Yeah.
prod.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you've got your book, and what are you going to speak about during for the Women's Summit?
So,
March 7th and
uh,
8th.
so
Be
it's
clear on that.
it's going to March International Women's Day. Here we come.
Yes.
So it will be talking about some of those topics that we've been shut down on that we
Mhm,
shut others down on.
mhm,
So bringing the conversation back to the table,
mhm.
opening it up,
In
not
regard,
hiding.
yeah. Are you like so the things we hide from, are you talking about money topics?
Money is usually the one that I land on, though because of said 14-year-old, I have been having some very interesting conversations after health class.
Oh, yes. Yes.
So any of the conversations about things that get locked down are conversations about sex before marriage, conversations about drugs, about were you ever in trouble with the law? How much does this house cost? How much do you make? There's so many conversations that we've constantly been told, it's none of your business. We don't talk about that kind of thing.
Right. Right.
So I think that it's time to open those doors up. You have to know you have to trust the people you're talking to,
Mm-hmm.
obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Or be like us and just talk to everybody on a podcast.
Yeah, but you
But
provided a wonderful teaser that's going to make us really want to tune in.
I am hoping so. And then
I
the
think,
following day, so that'll be on the 7th, and
uh,
then on the 8th is my book launch. So it's going to be an incredible celebration of the past year and a bit, year and a half that my book has been out. I never really did a book launch. my book launch, if you will, happened in my grandmother's living room on her 100th birthday when I handed her a copy of the book. And this book actually is the one that she signed for me.
Oh, oh my good.
Yeah.
I just got goosebumps. That's so
It's
sweet.
dedicated to her because
Oh,
she's so good with money and she passed down a lot of that to me. And so I had her sign my copy
uh-huh.
on her 100th birthday.
Hmm.
And I asked her to sign my sister's copy as well. So my sister and I are the only two who have copies of the book signed by my grandmother.
Wow. Not only did she give you the gift of not teaching you money is the root of all evil, right? Something many of us heard a lot,
Mhm.
but teaching you the value and the neutrality, right? And how important it is to own your values and your truth. And but then the first to sign a book that you wrote from what
Yeah.
you learned from her and beyond.
This is the most,
I'm sorry, that got, I didn't hear you.
I said, this is the most important copy of that book, and it sits on my bookshelf.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Ah, well, I can't thank you enough for being here today because, we're talking about meaningful life, and money is just one of those topics I think that is not the first thing we think about, and or maybe not even on the table. One of those things, not even on the table, right?
Not even on the table.
Yeah, not even on the table. And I so encourage listeners to tune in to the Women to Watch Summit, March 7th and 8th. I'm going to have the link in the video description so you can register for free and you can watch it all day, 2 days. And I'm speaking also, I'm speaking on a panel, The Power of Presence and Money.
Amazing.
Yeah, and which is, I'm really excited about that. And I believe this is going to also be on the Women's Channel. So Easy Way TV on the Women's Channel. So we'll be on TV as well. How cool is that?
That's gonna be awesome.
I know, I know. I'm excited to share the stage with you and excited today. And I just can't thank you enough. I've enjoyed this conversation very much, very much.
Thanks so much for having me.
You're welcome. All right, guys, we will catch up with you in a week or two. I'm the editor, so it depends on how fast the editor works. All right, take care, Mr.